Hey everyone, we did it. Over 2,000 subscribers in less than a year. It's Dominic, the Primetime Treasure Hunter. I am super excited, super pumped up, but most of all, super thankful and appreciative to all of you who have come to this channel and supported it by commenting, watching the videos, asking questions, putting in tips, letting people know about it on social media, subscribing to the channel, of course, emailing people about it, talking to them about it through word of mouth. All of that has brought people over to this channel and formed what I refer to as the Primetime family. I call all of you Prime Timers. You know, it's just a term of affection for all of you because, you know, the theme that I have not only in my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, which has been going on also for about a year. It's been in existence. Over there, we have almost 5,000 members. So if you want to join that, the link's down below in the description section. I always have to plug that because it's such a great group of people who are over there. And the theme there is fun, friends, family. And that's the same theme here. That's the same kind of relationship that I've grown to and I've developed with all of you, including in the comments section. You know, I see your faces every day and icons. Some of you I've talked to over video chats, like Val, Hickory Springs, and Ann earlier this year. I mean, it's just been an amazing experience to get to know all of you, and I'm sure someday I will get to meet many of you in person, such as if I go out to eBay Open or something like that. I have met Kevin Fairbanks, who also has a YouTube channel, and he has been a great supporter of this channel. He blew me away earlier this year when on his YouTube channel, which is called Journey to Freedom, he actually made a video about the Facebook group and about this channel. And so that was just amazing, just to, again, and I didn't ask him to do that, just the level of spontaneous support people have had. It's just really kind of taken me aback, and it's really made me sit back and reflect on, one, how much has happened over the course of this past year, because last year there was no such thing as a Primetime Treasure YouTube channel. I'll talk about that in just 1 second, and also make me reflect about where things are going, and I'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end. But last year, so today it's December 24th, I had a channel, like I put the name up there, I believe in October, just so I could have it in case I ever wanted to do anything with it. But in terms of me ever putting up a video, the first video I ever did was December 28th. So 4 days from now is my first ever video. And I remember before that, I was standing right behind where I am now, and I was packing up a package, and I was listening to a live show from Casey the Rockstar Flipper, and he was asking, you know, what kind of goals people had for next year. And one of the things I had been thinking about was to start a YouTube channel. And Casey said, well, you know, want to start a YouTube channel? Go start a YouTube channel. Steve Rakin said the same thing. Casey gave a few warnings about some of the things you had to be aware of, which are appropriate and correct. But I decided to give it a whirl and see if I could do it. Now, one of the reasons I thought that it might be a good fit for me is because I am used to public speaking, because I do a lot of that, or used to do a lot of that, as part of my profession in an academic medical center where I am doing lectures to either medical students or to psychology students, or doing presentations at conferences internationally. I haven't talked a lot about this side of my job that I've done, but you know, in the areas that I have expertise in, I'll go out and I'll do talks and stuff. I haven't done one in a while, but I have done a lot of those things in the past. And so I thought that I could bring that skill and also presentation skills. I could do a lot of stuff with PowerPoint, and so some of my some of my earlier presentations when I started this channel were based on PowerPoint. So I thought that I could bring that that aspect. I thought that would be helpful in terms of me, you know, doing making the interface go successful. The other thing I wanted to do was to try to bring a unique perspective into reselling that I didn't think that was out there, which was try to bring the perspective of a neuropsychologist or psychologist into reselling and go into the details of negotiations between buyers and sellers and how you could use certain psychological strategies to benefit your business, maximize your profits, get yourself the best deal, that sort of thing. So I wanted to make sure that I brought a perspective to the channel that was different. And that's one of the things I would tell you if you're thinking of starting out and doing a YouTube channel, is to make sure there's something that you can bring to it that's different, because there's so many different YouTube channels out there nowadays, and especially ones related to reselling. There's a lot of people who are at least starting it off. But I think to separate yourself and to try to eventually break yourself out from the pack, there needs to be something about you, and there needs to be something about your group and the community that you've created that's different in some way. And people need to feel like you are adding value to their lives. I mean, they are investing time. I feel like all of you who wake up with me in the morning and watch me while you're drinking your coffee, or watch me before you're going to bed, that just still just amazing to me. I'm still wrapping my head around that whole part of it. But I feel like the only way you're going to do that is if you feel like I'm adding value to you in some way. And that whole concept of adding value is so important, not only if you're going to jump into social media, but just also as a reseller, you need to add value to your customers. So it's just a very important concept to keep in mind. For people who are watching this who don't have a YouTube channel and you're currently kind of mulling it over and thinking about whether you should do it, besides keeping those points in mind, you know, another thing you should keep in mind is you don't have to instantly jump out there and put your face on there on the first video. Now, there is a local reseller. I'm going to give him a shout out here, OGC Resale. He's in Syracuse. He just put up his first reselling video tonight, so go check him out. His first video is very good. He was going over a bunch of thrift finds from Salvation Army and going over a bunch of brands. You can learn a lot from that video. So go check it out. Hopefully I'll have him on this channel sometime in 2019. But he just jumped right out there. I mean, very confident, and jumped out there, and his face was on the first video. But you go back and you look at my first video, I wasn't doing any of that kind of stuff. I have it here somewhere. Here it is, right there. So you scroll down, you look at this. You know, if I press play, you are not going to see my face anywhere in that video. Now, what you will see right there, I'm happy to say, is monetization, because a few days ago I just found out I got monetized. So you will see some ads pop up. You could skip them, but it's a good accomplishment. It was the only one of my goals in 2018 that I had not accomplished as of a couple of days ago. So now I could be comfortable in saying I hit all my goals for this year. I crushed them. You know, very, very happy that I could say that, because I was laser focused on you know, on accomplishing these goals this year. But here you could see I'm just talking about vintage spray cans in my first ever video, and how they could be valuable, and showing how to, you know, look up comps and that sort of stuff. I mean, that's all, you know, all right here. There we go. I'm filming my screen. I'm literally just taking a cell phone, and all I'm doing is filming my screen while it's on my lap. That's literally what I'm doing. That's my first video. I always said I was going to keep the first video to look back at it one day, because I knew I'd laugh at it, and I do kind of crack up when I see it. Of course, I never make it like this now, but again, I just want to point out, if you're thinking of jumping into it, you don't have to put your face on there right now. If that's one of the things you're nervous about, you could just do that. Now, eventually, people are probably going to ask you to put your face on camera because they want to relate to you in some way. It's hard to relate to someone who they can't see, but just to get your feet wet and jump in, that's what I decided to do, and I felt it was good to ease myself into it. As you can see here, the third video, I put myself on camera for the first time, but not the face. So you could just either set up a tripod, or you could have someone film you and just get your hands, kind of a zoom in approach, and that's what I was doing there. So my head does not pop out at all in that video. In fact, it doesn't show up until about, let's see here, how many videos in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th video where I did a product review. There you can see that I show up for the first ever time. So my first ever time is relating to a shipping scale. That shipping scale is awesome, by the way. I do still have the link down below in the description section if you want to check it out. Their affiliate link, so I make a little bit of money if you purchase one or anything through that link. Help support the channel, but I have the monetization there, so I'm happy about that. It's a good thing, again, some good progress. But that's, you know, you can see kind of the development of that there in terms of me moving forwards. And interestingly enough, I'll tell this story for, I think, I've told it before, but just so for people who are brand new, who may not have heard this story before, let's see, where is it? Oh, here it is. This one here, I had, it was a Friday, I remember.
So when I needed an e-commerce site with all the bells and whistles, I went to Fiverr
work
and
party
got
early.
one.
It was a holiday work party.
I
that
just
we
searched, clicked, and
enough,
ordered. Now that's
after
a good-looking
the year.
CEO.
And the party was over, and we ended, I don't know, somewhere like 2 o'clock or something like that, and we were allowed to go home. And the beginning of the video, which is here, you could see I'm literally in the parking lot,
specifically
across from Dinosaur Barbecue.
That's about a
which is
half an hour
famous
from where
place
I am now in Syracuse,
New
New York.
If anyone ever
And
comes
this is a
and cuts
flea
through
market.
here,
It's an indoor
let me
flea
know if
market.
you're a
I've never
reseller.
been
I
there
will take
before,
you
but
over
they
there,
are
and you will
liquidating their
absolutely
inventory.
love it. It's an amazing
And
place.
anything that you
Kevin
could
Fairbanks
fit in a
watching
bag
this,
that they
knows,
give
and
you
so
is
does OGC
$10.
Resale.
So
Amazing place to
hopefully
barbecue. But anyway,
there'll be some good
I'm
items
filming
there.
myself here.
I'm not sure.
And,
We'll check it out.
when I came
not sure
home,
if I could video once I'm in there.
my
If
wife,
I
Mrs.
can,
Primetime,
I'll take
who
some
many of you
video.
know is very
If
private,
not, I'll take
doesn't
some
want to
video
go on
once I
video and
leave.
that sort of stuff.
It's pretty rainy out, as
She
you can
was
see from
kind
my
of,
coat, so it might be a little
taken
bit of a
aback
slow
by
drive up
this,
there. But once I get there, I'll
just
put on the
didn't think
camera
it was
again,
really
and
a
we'll
good
see what
look
happens.
for me, because
See you
she's
guys
used to
soon.
the professional side of me,
All right,
you know,
folks,
working in
we
a
just
hospital
got
and that
here
sort of
to
stuff,
the
and just thought this whole thing was
Bridgeport
weird.
Flea Market,
And I have to
and
understand it
this
from her
is where the
perspective, because
sale
you know,
is.
she's not used to it.
Looks
You
like a
know,
nice,
here, you know, we have a
barn
relatively
like
private life, and all of a
structure
sudden
outside.
I'm putting myself
We
out there
will
that
see what
millions
it's
of
like
people
inside.
could potentially see
Hopefully
me on
it's
YouTube, and
interesting. Got a
I'm
little
filming myself
sign here that says antiques
in my car. So I'm bringing
So
this up
hopefully it's
because
good.
here I
It's a
am later.
space for
You know,
new
this is
inventory. So
something
the issue with that
you're gonna,
is
you may
it's
encounter,
trickier
you
in
may have
that
to
type
deal
of
with, which is
situation
a
to find
spouse
something of
or
value.
someone in
So
your
you
family
really,
who doesn't
really have to
approve of
know
what you're
your
doing
stuff
and doesn't think
to
it's a good
find
idea.
the
Now,
items
just so
that
you know, Mrs. Primetime
other
is awesome. I
people
mean,
are
she
not
completely has
buying because
supported
they
me
don't
through
realize that it's worth
everything
anything, and they don't
in my
realize that
life.
has any
It's just
value.
this one
So,
thing she
I did find some
initially
stuff.
thought was
I've got
just
a
not the
bag
right move.
here
And you know
of
what?
things,
That's something
and,
your spouse should
it's
tell
too
you.
dark
If they
here
think
right
you're
now
doing
for me to show
something
it to
dumb,
you.
or they
So
think
what
you're
I'm gonna
doing
do
something that's
is
not
I'm gonna
good,
get home,
you want them to
I'm
be
gonna
honest with you. You
unpack
want
this
them to tell you.
stuff.
Now,
All
sometimes
of
they're going to be
what you
right.
see here
Sometimes they're going to
in
be
this
wrong.
box,
Sometimes you're going to be right. Sometimes you're going to be wrong.
I
But
wound up getting
the
for
point of me telling you this
total
is
of
I
$5.
felt deep
It's just
down that
miscellaneous
this
items
was
for $5.
actually the right
So,
thing for me. I
I'll show you
felt
what it is. I
comfortable.
think I got a good deal
I
for
thought it had
just
potential.
$5, and
People were
it should be a
starting to
pretty good
respond
flip.
to it a
So
bit,
we'll
and I
get
thought
back in
I
some better
still
lighting
wanted to
later.
play it out
See
a
you
little
guys
bit
soon.
more. This is only at
everyone,
this time that I
Dominic,
do
I'm
this
back
video.
from my
This is only
treasure haul at the
January
Bridgeport Flea Market
13th.
store.
It says it's
And
somewhere, I
what
don't
I'm
know
gonna
where,
do
but I
is show
checked it
you
out
my
before.
bag of goodies
Yeah,
right
here it is,
here
January
and what I
13th.
wound up
So
getting.
that's
Before I
too
get
early
into
for
that,
me to
though,
give up. First
few
video
things
December
about what
28th.
happened
I'm
when I
not
went
quitting
over
on
there.
January
When I went into
13th.
the
No way.
store,
Now,
there were about 3
of
shelves
course, there's times in life where you have to
Turns out those bottles
reevaluate,
were
and if
well
you're going down the
picked
wrong
through. There was
path
really
and you're
nothing
losing
there
money,
of
for example, in
value.
your business,
When
you
you
got to
are looking for
reevaluate and
bottles,
you got to
make sure
try
you
to
to
change
look for ones
direction.
that have
But
some kind
this
of
was too
embossing
early,
on
and
it.
I still
Those are
wanted
ones
to
that
play it
tend to
out
be
some
more
more. So that's the
popular,
other thing I want to
trying
tell
to
you,
make sure
you know,
there's no
especially with
cracks in
people
them
who
or
wind up,
anything like that. Look
a lot of
over
people wind up being
thoroughly with
successful in
chips or
business.
anything like
There are a
that.
lot of people around them who
Another
told
thing
them,
that
nah,
there
don't
were-
do
there
that,
were
don't go down that
bins and
path.
bins
And
and bins
a
of
lot of people
VHS
wound up
tapes.
being real
Most people
successful,
pass on
you know,
VHS
millions
tapes,
of
and for good
dollars
reason,
in terms
because
of
most of them
companies that
don't
they've
sell.
started.
But when you go and
Were
look
people
for
who
VHS
just kept
tapes,
going and kept persisting and
there
kept
is
following what they
value
thought was
in
the right,
old
what was the right
horror
path. So if
movie
you have
VHS
evidence,
tapes,
or you don't have
the ones
enough
with the
evidence that's
most
bad, or you
gore
have evidence
tend
that
to
it's
be the
good,
ones
what you're
that
doing,
really,
then
really
stick
sell
with
for a
it.
lot of money,
So,
including
you know, just
hundreds
wanted
of
to pass
dollars
that
for
on,
some of the
especially if you're
rare
new.
out-of-print,
You know,
VHS
don't give
tapes
up
that
too
never
early. You know,
actually made it over to
keep trying.
DVD.
Talk
So
to people
those
who
will
have been
actually
around a while.
go for a
Get
lot of
some
money,
tips from people
particularly
who are
if they're
experienced.
sealed,
I found the reselling
there
community
was
as a
actually
whole,
none that
especially
were
the
worth
people on
anything. But I did wind up
YouTube.
finding a few things, and
I'm
you have to
very
keep in mind find that
open
this
to helping
sales
people. Casey the Rockstar Flipper is, Wade from Wade's Venture, Steve Rakin Profits. I mean, all these people, very, 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 very helpful and great people to reach out to. So I'm not going to go through the rest of these videos. There's 290 plus videos, so I can't possibly cover all of them, and it's late. It's 3:06 in the morning, and that's actually typical. I mean, that's how I made 291 videos, is me coming down here, Primetime Treasure headquarters, late at night and filming. Because if you have a full-time job and you want to have a YouTube channel, you know, it's tough. I'm not going to lie. It's tough. And I did not realize how tough it was going to be when I started doing this. Because not everything goes perfect the first time. Sometimes there's multiple takes you got to do. You might say something wrong, and you know, or you might just mess something up, drop something, you know, whatever. There's just things that go wrong. So sometimes there's a technical glitch, things like that. So it doesn't always go perfect, and there's a learning curve, as with anything they have to go through. But you know, I really wanted to try to be consistent because I felt that you deserved that. I felt that people were not going to really probably respond too well, especially for someone who's just starting out, you know, one video a week or something like that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried that, but from everything I've heard, you really want to try to be consistent with. So that's one thing I would suggest with people who are new, is to try to be consistent. So add value, be consistent, be genuine as well with your audience. You know, when I first got, and it take me a while to fast forward to it, but you know, when I first got put in eBay jail, you know, that was an embarrassing thing. And you know, even though I got out in 24 hours and was jubilant about it, you know, it was really a low point. You know, for those 24 hours, it was rough. Then the whole Instagram jail, which was related to the whole reason why I was in Facebook, not Facebook jail. I almost got put in Facebook jail over this, all over the same issue, which was, if you're new to my channel, there were these Jack Daniels signs that I had that I bought, and I was reselling them, and turns out that they weren't genuine Jack Daniels signs, and the Jack Daniels sign company basically went after me, not legally, fortunately, but they could have, and you know, if I didn't listen to them and stop trying to resell them, so which I did stop, but you know, that was a rough time, but I felt like I needed to share that with you. I felt like, one, I had a duty to do it, because if I'm telling you in a video that this is something that resells well, but then I have a scenario where I'm getting, you know, kicked off of eBay over it, not permanently, but just, you know, temporarily. It was supposed to be for a week. Fortunately, it only wound up being a day, but I don't want that to happen to anyone else, so I want to make sure I let people know about that. So that's one of the reasons I filmed the video about it. Also, just to be genuine, because I want to be genuine with the audience. You know, even if it's something like my box situation behind me, which was a complete mess and a complete disaster, and I never really filmed that for you before to show you. Well, I had boxes there. There were videos where I had boxes behind me, but not anything that was to the degree of how out of control it ultimately got. And so, but I decided, again, that's something that people would benefit from if they saw, you know, what I was struggling with and how I overcome it and what the approach was. And there were people who were giving me tips and ideas and suggestions, and that was very useful. So, you know, be genuine. That's another suggestion that I would give if you want to start out, you know, doing your channel. Or, you know, tonight, there was a point where I had 1998 subscribers, and you know, what I was not going to do was to go create some fake email account, for example, and be 1999 and 2000. Like, I wanted that to be a genuine thing when it went over 2000, that these were people who really, you know, were supporting the channel and wanted to get there in a real way, instead of, you know, cheating to get those last two in there or anything like that. So you know, again, genuineness, very, very, very important. Ultimately, in terms of me starting the channel and deciding to, you know, just jump off and jump in with 2 feet about it, I remember, as I said, I think I said earlier, Casey was talking about on a live show, you know, if that's a resolution of yours, that's something you want to do, well, go do it. And I've heard other people say the same thing. And I remember Casey saying, well, you know, there were a couple people on this live show that he had that he was talking about who had basically made some inroads in social media that year, and on YouTube and a YouTube channel. And it made me think, wow, you know, if there's people who he's referring to on his channel who just started this past year, well, maybe I could do that as well. So in other words, gave me some hope that this was maybe something that I would be, be able to do. And so decided to just jump in and try it, like I showed you. And, as in general in life, forget reselling for a minute. I do advise people to try to get the most you can out of life and try different experiences. And if this didn't work and I fell flat on my face and I just couldn't do it, then I would admit that and I would move on and I would try something new. But at least I would know, hey, I tried YouTube, I tried doing it, and here's what the result was of it. The worst thing would be for me to basically, go 15, 20 years, not do it, and then regret and look back and say, man, I really should have done that. I really should have tried it. I did not want to have that regret. So I'm glad I tried it, and again, really worked out. Now, when I say it worked out, I'm happy I have 2,000 subscribers, and I'm happy there's 5,000 people in my Facebook group, or almost 5,000. But at the same time, and I mentioned this in the last video, I have a lot to learn. I really do. And there's lots of ways I'm going to try to grow the channel in the next year. But, I really want to continue to try to up the subscriber count and to get people here to focus on the content that I have available, because I've heard this from other people, so it's not just me saying this, which is, why the heck aren't there more subscribers on the channel given how much people seem to like the content? And I'm not 100% sure the answer to that. I think it's partly the way I'm marketing things and also partly how I'm networking or not networking. And my philosophy about that, and that might just be my own fault, is that I didn't want to just jump out there this year before I had established myself in some way and be on a ton of different social media interviews and stuff like that. I want to at least get my feet wet for a little bit and wait to do that. And, I did a few interviews, but now that I feel more comfortable out there and I feel that I've established a channel, I want to do more of my own interviews. I'll definitely go on other people's channels for interviews as well, but one of the things you're going to see in 2019, and this is based on having a successful interview with Wade, which was my only interview, the only person I interviewed, because, by the way, speak about being genuine and trying to be authentic, I told Wade when he interviewed me that I would go on his show, that I would have him come on my show if I ever decided to do an interview with someone and ever do a live show. And that's another thing. Doing a live show is a lot different from just doing one of these types of shows where I could stop the recording and I could edit things and stuff like that. Not on a live show, it's different. There's a lot of things you have to learn about Google Hangouts and stuff. And, it was just, just a lot. And, but again, something I wanted to try. Never did a live show, wanted to try it. Tried it, had some technical problems, tried to work them out. And just saw the generosity of people like Casey who, helped me over the phone at no expense to me, just helping me troubleshoot things. And so I try to pass that on to people and troubleshoot with them as well. But in 2019, going to see lots of interviews, at least twice a month is my goal. The first one's going to be on January 9th. I'm not going to say who it's going to be yet, but these are people you are definitely going to know, or you should know. If you don't know them when I announce them, you definitely need to get on their channels, but and absorb all the useful information. But you're going to hear an announcement of that in the beginning of January in terms of exactly who's lined up as guests. But the other thing is I want you to be a guest on my channel as well. So if you're someone who's following the channel and you've been commenting and asking questions, I want to get to know you even better, especially if we haven't had a visual, a visual chat in any way like I did with Val. But still, Val, I want Val to come on, Hickory Springs. I just want to get to know you guys a little bit better, guys and girls, fan guys, fan girls. Also going to do that through my Instagram feed, by the way. So if you're not on my Instagram, go on there, because there's a feature through Instagram where you could just request to be on video with me, with everyone else who's watching, and there it is, me and you are talking. And we just did that last week, and I aim to do that once a week going into 2019. I started that a little bit early, and I announced it on my Facebook page. Hey, I'm going live on Instagram. And of course, if you follow me on Instagram, it's going to tell you there as well when you open up your Instagram account. So we're going to see that. That's going to be a big development. I'm also going to try to do some more research-based instructional videos where I'm giving you data about something with some solid numbers and maybe putting together some tables or some charts or some figures and stuff. I don't really have time to do that right now given my schedule and trying to go almost every day with a video, but I'm probably going to transition more into a 2-day on, 1-day off kind of schedule. Not that there won't ever be times where I go 3 days in a row, but there's going to be times where I'm going to skip a day here or there. But it's because I still want to work on the channel, but I have to work on it in different ways. So some ways it's going to be, I'm going to do some development in terms of getting some research data together. Other times I want to maybe develop things in the channel, like making playlists for all of you. You know, if you go here to my playlist section, I have some things. I have stuff on bookkeeping and taxes. I have stuff on shipping tips, what's sold on eBay, how-to and instructional videos, haul videos, BOLO or be on the lookout videos, those kind of things. But there's a lot of videos that haven't even been classified. This whole background likely needs to go, and so I need to change that up. Right now I've got this little icon here, and I'll probably keep that for a while. I like that. But, you know, I mean, things have got to grow, things have got to develop, things have got to become even more and more professional from a social media perspective as it moves forwards. And so I expect you to see a lot of growth and a lot of interesting things that happen on this very channel over the course of next year. I hope to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of this calendar year. That would be interesting to see if I can make that. It'd be a jump of 1,000 more within a year as opposed to now, but that should be doable considering that from September 18th to now, another 1,000 subscribers were were ones that came on board. So looking forward to 2019. If you have things you want to see on this channel that I have not done yet, please let me know. For those of you who are wondering about when I'm going to get back into estate sales and garage sales again, mostly once it starts to get warmer out, I'll start doing that. I'm still liquidating a lot of stuff here in the house. Well, not liquidating, but I'm just selling it. I'm getting rid of it. I'm selling it. I'm trying to make space for the spring and the summer haul. So, you know, I guess that's pretty much it in terms of just a little backstory on how things developed on the channel and where I see things going forwards from here. You know, I really think you know, you should really just stick with this channel because you know, I said tonight on Facebook, buckle your seatbelts because it's going to be a wild ride in 2019. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Come on by to different social media venues that I mentioned, and I really look forward to seeing what 2019 has to offer. Now, there'll be some more videos that I'll do over winter break, and so I'll continue with the tips and the tricks and all that kind of stuff. But you know, make sure you feel free to reach out to me if you have any comments, questions, and with that, I'm going to sign off. Celebrate being over 2,000 subscribers. Again, thank you very much, and I will see all of you at the next video. Take care, everybody.